Oh, you can't help but love this block palette. It's one of the most classic in the game. These blocks are like 10 or more years old. Oh, but it never gets old. These blocks are old, but this block palette never gets old. It always looks so good. It's like the moss is coming in and the vines are growing, and especially in this room, I tried to make it look deteriorating by using walls and stairs at various angles and trying to make it look deteriorating, essentially. And that's exactly the theme of this whole building, which is just old and falling apart. And in fact, the whole premise of this is a mini game. This is going to be my new mini game. The whole premise of it is that the power has been out for some time, and the objective of the mini game is to turn the power back on, essentially. Wow, the server lag. Oh my gosh. Bear with me real quick. There's a face plant into the ground. The whole premise of the escape room is to power on 4 generators, essentially. So I'll just run through what we have so far. This is kind of like my work area. Here's the entrance to this is like the lobby area. So this is where the players will come in. They'll come in this portal right here, not the railroad. The portal right here. And this is the room that will greet them. Obviously it'll have a roof, but I don't know what blocks to use. So it's still roofless. So they'll walk in here. This is the entrance. Walk over these pressure plates. These doors will switch, so that will close behind them, not allowing anyone else while the room is in use. They'll read about their objective to power on the generators, and then empty their inventory and walk into this room down here. This is where we started. So another example of I don't know what to do for the roof, so for now it's roofless. So they'll set the spawn here, and if at any point up to this point they can turn around and go back. However, once they push this button, there's almost no going back. And of course they could push this button to reset, but this button starts the game. So they swoop up here to the entrance to the Grand Library is the first room. That's what I'm calling it. Essentially, this is the entrance to the facility. So over here behind the staircase, there'll be probably a downward staircase into like a dungeon crawler map, essentially, and it'll stretch to the far ends of this island here. And in each corner of the dungeon crawler map, there'll be a generator. So the player will have to walk through here, through the map, find their way through the maze, probably, and in the different corridors and different rooms and stuff, find their way to the generator. And it's turning night. Perfect. Power it on, go to the next one, power that one on, power the next one, power that one on, until they powered all 4 on. So right now I obviously don't have any of the generators mapped out, but I do have a little system to simulate a generator. So click this note block, and as you can see, with one generator we don't have very much light, but we do have a little, and up there that signifies how many generators we have. Let's do 2 more. So the lights are really starting to glow now. There's lots of power going through the system. And up here, before we hit the 4th one, there's the door right there. So that's the exit door. So if we hit this one more time, we'll see the light up there glowing. This is at maximum brightness now. All the energy is coming through. All the power is restored. And the door to exit is now open. So that is the premise of Blackout Breakout. This looks really majestic in the night with the moon right there. That's so cool. I might just leave a window there in case it is night. That'd be sick. Anyway, so you enter out here. There'll probably be a book or a sign that says, "Oh, congrats, you did it." And then, "Thanks for playing." Push this button to be done. That will reset the whole room and drop you back into claiming your stuff back and allowing you to leave the way you came. So, next thing on the agenda for this project is obviously the getting a better server router, Wi-Fi. Getting better Wi-Fi. No, in all seriousness, the next thing is to map out this whole facility, right? However, that daunts me. I am very intimidated by that. I have no idea where to even start. I've looked at Google and dungeon crawler maps and stuff, and I have yet to find anything that really inspires me. So instead, I've been thinking about the details of this place. And one of the details I've considered is adding music as you walk in and walk around. So this green line here is the music. So I'll just hook that back up and we'll go through it again. And you can let me know if this is overkill or if it could actually pull it off quite well. So the in-game music actually works pretty well for the vibe that I'm going for. Okay, server lag, come on now. So as soon as we push this button, that'll send the signal down to the music box that I just re-hooked up by moving that redstone. So we'll walk in, and the music will start. Now, I know you can't hardly see anything, but that's kind of the point, is to be mysterious and to be dark and dreary. And we're in a mushroom biome, so there's no mobs that will spawn. So it'll be very dark and very safe. Well, for the most part. Maybe I'll put a monster or two in here. That's for a future me problem. Okay, so music. How's it feeling? Do you think it works? I think this track especially adds to the ambiance of the room. So I've been thinking about this, and I think it works. However, I've come across a flaw in the jukebox system. Let me explain. So let's go over here to this, let's say this is the second generator position. Man, my server lag is gonna kill me. Okay, let's say this is the second generator area place. So we have a music disc in here, and let's just activate that real quick so we can hear it. Okay, there's the second disc playing. If we go over here, okay, let's activate this second music disc again. Okay, there's the second one playing. So in my mind, I had this one playing in one area and another one playing in another area. And as you walked from one area to another, this one would fade, and this one would grow stronger, right, in volume. So like as you walked in between, not only would the block palettes change and like the whole theme would change, but also the music. I think that would be so cool. However, as I've been messing with this, I've discovered a flaw in the jukebox system. I'll explain. Let's turn this off. There we go. Okay, so the flaw. Well, let's start with explaining the jukebox. So the jukebox has a range of 64 blocks. If you walk outside the range, you won't be able to hear it anymore, obviously. But then if you walk back in, then you'll be able to hear it. That's what we just demonstrated with our little demonstration right there, right? However, if you start the song when you're outside of the range of 64 blocks, even if you walk back into the range, you won't be able to hear it. So I've set up this redstone line to demonstrate. So let's hit this real quick. So that has now inserted a disc into the jukebox. We should be able to hear it by now. It's playing. You can see my texture pack displays the disc. And these hoppers are powered. And the note blocks are coming out. I mean, the notes are coming out. But no music is playing. So that is a fatal flaw in my music desires for my escape room. If you walk into a new area, you might have to wait like up to 3 minutes for the disk to recycle, to start again. And who knows if you'll even be in the range at that point either. So like, we could have it be like just constantly recycling, and every couple of minutes it'll just start up randomly. But I feel like that would just break the immersion, right? So part of the appeal of having it fade and grow as you went to a new area was just immersive, right? As you walked from one area to another, it's a new theme song. That makes sense. But if you're in the new area for a couple of minutes and then the song starts, that would totally break the immersion. So I don't know what to do about that. I might just bypass the whole music thing and just have it be boring. But we'll see. I have yet to come up with a solution for that. Before we go, I want to explain a little bit of this redstone real quick. So obviously we have the copper bulbs, which are allowing us to give the different light levels. So we're utilizing these blocks in the floor of our building here. And I needed a way to track the generators activated, independent of order. So I came up with a system that moves these water buckets to this hopper. This comparator reads that and sends the signal out this redstone line accordingly. So let's just activate that. And so now I have one water bucket. This comparator says, hey, there's a water bucket in here. It sends the signal up to these repeaters, but not quite to these ones because the signal strength isn't strong enough. So I've spaced them out to be every bucket activates one line, and each of these lines have a different color of wool, and they go up and activate their respective lamps in the floor. So if we just free cam real quick, we can see that under these rugs right here are the bulbs. So that's how I worked out that issue. Of course, we have the door system that will toggle each other, walk in and walk out, and then from room 2 to room 3. This would be way easier to explain with free cam. So we have 4 doors essentially, 1, 2, and then one right here, and then one right there, and they're in pairs. So these two toggle with each other, and these two toggle with each other, and that's signified with the smooth stone right here. That's one circuit of redstone. In polished, what is this called? Polished granite, we have the reset line. So that comes down here and flips these doors and turns off all the lights. So we have one line going down here and activates this, allowing the water buckets to go back into the dropper. So yeah, that should be a brief synopsis of Blackout Breakout so far, or at least everything I've done so far. Obviously there's still so much to do. Still, I have the music problem to work out. I have a whole facility to map out and a bunch of unforeseen issues that I didn't plan on happening, like the music issue, for example. Didn't plan on that being so difficult, but that's part of the charm of doing projects like this, is you learn new things about the game that you otherwise wouldn't know. And also just troubleshooting and problem solving is really fun too. I find that really enjoyable. So if you also like doing stuff like that, feel free to subscribe to the channel, because there's going to be a lot more videos about this project coming out here pretty soon. And yeah, thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. See ya.